It started nearly 40 years ago. I thought about it first when I was walking through India, following the footsteps of Buddha. I walked 600 miles for sure, but I think it was between 600 miles to 800 miles. And so as a Buddha, he walked all over. So I did it chronologically from birth to parinirvana. And in the process, I started to think about architecture because, architecture is my life. I love architecture, planning, and I started to feel that there's something wrong with what it was at that time.
What was wrong with it?
What I sensed the most was that the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada, our national organization, lacked any international standing.
Okay. Does that surprise you though? Like, is internationally, is Canada recognized for its architecture? Is it known for its architecture?
Well, that was it. I sensed that, we have good Canadian architects, but they were not recognized. It's hard for Canadian architects to rise in terms of the international sort of affair. And there are a lot of good architects, I felt. So, how do I help raise the situation where RAIC is accepted as part of the international scene? And if that happens, Canadian architects will benefit. And in fact, maybe it'll give Canadian architects a kick in the ass to aspire higher. And,
Tell us like it is, right?
Yeah, well, and if that happens, I thought Canada will benefit as internationally as a place of culture.
Why do you think that there's that resistance with Canadian architects? Is that like a Canadian cultural thing?
Well, the Canadians are modest, and but sometimes unlike some other nation, Canadian architects don't give themselves enough credit, and I felt that maybe if I could do it so that naturally they aspire higher, that'll be the best. So I started pushing this idea of RAIC International Prize.
Right.
Not an award, but a prize. And it should have a trophy of some kind. And this is going to be a crystal. And it's going to represent Canada. And it'll look like a crystallized mountain or iceberg. And it's really absolutely beautiful.
Who designed it?
Wei Yu in Edmonton. And it's gorgeous.
Great.
So,
not to mention the cash value as well, right?
And a cash value of $100,000. And it was to be given to a recent project. It's not a lifetime prize or award. It's unlike Pritzker.
Let me ask you about that, because I think that might be one of the biggest criticisms with starting a new architecture prize, is that there already is the Pritzker, or there is, we talked about the Aga Khan architecture, there is an award for with that architecture as well. What makes your prize different?
Well, actually what I started was that it has to make a difference. That it's not competing with Pritzker or any other awards. It is going to be a prize given to a recent project, not a lifetime sort of award for good behavior.
One of the things I find interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your prize is not just awarded to architects either.
Yes, that's right. It's a worldwide sort of prize, and it could be given to somebody very young, middle-aged, from any place, maybe from Mongolia for all I know. And hopefully, we'll have a game changer.
I know that a lot of the rumblings in the world of architecture about this prize is that the nominees will have designs or contributions that are sustainable, that are humanistic. What does that mean? What's a humanistic design?
Well, the word sustainable, first of all, is overused.
It is.
And I think it's got to be sustainable in terms of the community, not just environmental factors. And in terms of humanism, if you look at the recent publications of architectural design awards winners, most of the pictures have no people in it. It's as if the building is saying, look how good I am.
Right.
And
interesting.
And building, to me, or architecture has to be more meaningful than just looking good.
Right.
Looking beautiful. That's not the issue.
What else does it need?
What it needs is sort of a social equality, social justice. It's got to have inclusion, and it has to give human comfort as well, and and maybe represent the small community or large community. And I think it'll be in terms of looking at architecture, just not just the surface, but penetrate into the reason for the architecture.
Okay.
Without people, we don't need architecture.
And I should also ask, it must be a completed project, right?
It's got to be complete.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that the client will be interviewed, the public will be interviewed, and the final 3 projects will be visited, hopefully, by some of the jury members.